You're listening to Cinematic Adventures, proud member of the Misfit Faction Media Network.
Good morning, Vietnam!
I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
I feel the need for speed.
Road, where we're going, we don't need roads.
Snakes. Why did it have to be snakes?
Vices? We don't need no vices. I don't have to show you any stinking vices.
You make me want to be a better man.
Nobody puts baby in a corner.
I wish I knew how to quit you.
Love means never having to say you're sorry.
He's looking at you, kid.
Not bad. I'm just drawn that way.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Cinematic Adventures. Don't forget, if you guys are listening to us on the go, you can find us on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, basically anywhere you get your podcast. You can also find more of our content on our website, themisfitfaction.com. There you find links to not only this show, but some of our other shows like the Multiverse Fancast and MF Uncensored. We also want to do a big thank you to Podbean this month for having us as one of their featured podcasts. Thank you to Podbean for always being
so much.
so
That's
supportive.
Awesome.
Yep. I am Paul, one of your hosts, and with me via the Zoom studio, this is our first time doing a Zoom podcast, so please be gentle on us, is Sean. Sean, how are you?
I am good. You can hear me?
I can hear you. It's weird.
Oh, wow. See, technology. You gotta love it.
It's wild because for the past, 4 years, 3 years, whatever we've been doing podcasting for, everybody has had to come to my house. Now you guys can't come over anymore.
Ah, what a shame.
What a shame.
We can't see Melanie anymore?
Producer
Damn,
Melanie?
that's-
Well, if you guys have not met Producer Melanie, check out our latest episode of MF Uncensored, where she spoke to an actual spirit medium who said that she had latent psychic powers. I said, of course she does. Of course she does. She's my wife. She knows everything.
And she has a cat, so, she's into something there.
I don't know. But we are super excited to be back. It is part 5 of our Harry Potter retro review series. Yes. And I finished the story mode of Hogwarts Legacy, so there's that.
But I do have to start off with one thing, Paul, here.
Hit it.
All right. So if I were to come to you at the beginning of 2022 and tell you, hey, Paul, a movie about multiverses will win Best Picture of the Year, what movie would you think I'd be talking about?
Either Spider-Man or Doctor Strange.
Oh, see? There you go. But no, it was Everything Everywhere All at Once. Took home 7 Academy Awards this past Sunday for Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actress, Best Supporting Actor, and Best Supporting Actress, and Best Original Screenplay. So congratulations to that movie.
Well, first and foremost, Short Round made me cry.
Oh, God, he's not only to have Spielberg in the audience, to be able to hug Harrison Ford after he gives him the Best Picture, that they gave the cast the Best Picture award. And I did not know this. His agent is Chunk.
No.
Jeff Cohen is his lawyer/agent.
That's wild.
So he was at the Oscars as well. And there's video of the two of them embracing. And then there's obviously social media outposts from all the rest of the Goonies, Corey Feldman, Sean Astin, Martha Plimpton. So, it was just...
That's awesome.
And then Brendan Fraser winning Best Actor is just as emotional. So it was a great night. It was a really great
Jimmy
night.
Kimmel said it best, where he's like, 2 actors from Encino Man are nominated for Academy Awards.
Yes.
I really hope that this kind of springboards them back into the public light, because
I hope so, too.
I always forget how to pronounce his name. Ki Hua Kwan?
Ki Hai Kwan.
Like, he has not done a lot of films. He even says it in all these speeches. He's like, I was going to give up.
He couldn't pay his any type of tax. He couldn't pay anybody before this movie. He didn't think he was going to be able to afford to live. Yeah. Before this movie came out. And obviously we all know Brendan Fraser's story, and hopefully he really starts to come back and make more movies.
If they were smart, they'd put the two of them in a movie together now.
Well, Encino Man 2.
Oh my God. Extra
Encino. Sean Astin, you get Pauly Shore, and then you're good.
Golden.
Great.
Any other news, though, from the news front?
Well, I told you this before we started recording, and you were just like, meh. But it just announced about half hour ago that James Gunn will direct his Superman film, Superman Legacy, for the new DC universe. And so, we'll see how that goes.
We'll see how that goes. I'm meh, just kind of meh about it.
I know. That's why I'm laughing a little, because it's obviously your favorite character, but I know it's just been, just a whirlwind of just BS with DC. So you're just probably jaded right now. And it's just like, I'll wait till it comes out. And then if it's good, it's good. If it sucks, I'm not shocked.
I'm actually just oddly looking forward to Shazam coming out at this point.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. And Zachary Levi, I mean, he looks like, he keeps saying the right things about DC. He's not going to knock them. He's going to say, hey, let them do what they got to do.
Yeah, and the early buzz is pretty positive. They're saying it's very much like the first film. If you enjoy the first film, you enjoy this one. But you know what film is getting killer reviews already?
What?
John Wick 4.
Oh, that's true.
I am seeing nines and tens and like highly like best of the series type comments. I was like, holy crap, they are exploding with this. And
nice.
that movie comes out. Yeah, that movie comes out in a week or two. Next week, I think.
Oh, does Shazam?
Shazam is this coming weekend. So at time of recording, Shazam comes out in 2 days. And then then the following week is John Wick. Then the following week is Dungeons and Dragons. Remember that one?
Oh, that's right.
IGN gave it a pretty good review, actually. 7 out of 10. I was like, that is like a 3.5 out of 5. Like, I'll take
maybe
it.
We'll actually have some contemporary movie reviews we can do. We haven't done one of those in a while.
We haven't gone to the movies in a while.
I know. I went to the movies last Sunday, but I didn't see a new movie. I saw Casablanca.
I still want to go see Creed.
I never saw the second one. I love the first one. I thought the first one was fantastic.
It was all right. But we're not here to talk about that. What are we here to talk about, Sean?
Oh, we are here because we are in week 5 of our Harry Potter retrospective reviews, and that is Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix.
I didn't know there was a space in there, William Shatner.
Well,
so don't do that. I thought Zoom froze. Don't do that. I got to edit this. All right, so
now I'm going to think about it every time I talk. I can't put any pause.
Don't do this. Don't do this to me. Don't do this to me. All right, so let's start initial thoughts of Order of the Phoenix as we typically do with these films.
Initial thoughts for me was it was never my favorite of the series, both book and film. I remember seeing it in theaters and being meh about it. It was a good movie. It was well done, but the story just didn't suck me in as much as the previous 4 had, though I have seen it recently. Within the last couple months I saw it, and I liked it a little more than I remember liking it, but it's still low on the totem pole of Harry Potter films for me.
I would agree. Like, it's weird. I love the book. I'm a big fan of the book, and this is, again, we mentioned last week that even though Prisoner of Azkaban is kind of dark, Goblet of Fire is where the film franchise really starts to get dark, and then this one,
oh great,
like, this is where the stakes get really high. Because, don't get me wrong, the death of Cedric Diggory is very sad, but he was a character introduced in the book for the most part. Like, we barely had time to know him. This is the movie where the stakes get higher, and we get to see some real consequences for what's going on. So, spoiler alert, too, by the way, for all these films. I'm going to say it every episode, but just in case. But, yeah, so this is where it really starts to get there. But I do definitely dig this one and I enjoy it, but it's not my favorite film, but it's becoming one of my more favorite books, ironically.
All right. Nice.
Yeah, all right, thanks, man. Really just agree with
that's a solid thought. I agree. I hear you.
That is a solid thought. But anyway, so let's really quickly, we got some new cast members, and I will say that the newest additions to this movie kind of start to steal the...
I support that. I definitely support that.
You support that theory? You're all about it?
I will tell you a story about one of the new cast members and how, like, I despise her in a new role that she just did.
Okay.
Due to her performance in this movie. So, we'll go with that.
All right, hit it.
So we have, obviously, the returning cast members who I won't go over because we've done it, obviously so many times. But the big additions to this cast, starting with Helena Bonham Carter as Bellatrix Lestrange, one of Voldemort's most loyal Death Eaters and the cousin of Sirius Black. This is up there with just, again, I don't have any gripes against any casting in this series at all. And this one just hit it out of the park.
Oh, agreed. Totally agreed. But
she is just amazingly just devilish, and just, you want to hate her. She is perfect.
What are your thoughts on her in general, just Helena Bonham Carter? I can't even
as an actress, I think she's a very good actress. She is really... I remember the first thing I saw her, and I think was honestly Planet of the Apes, if you can believe it. And then obviously she kind of became the Tim Burton
go-to.
I think which I think is in... I don't want to make it sound like that's all she would do, but she obviously was in his movies, and because they were together for years. But other movies. I mean, The King's Speech, she was fantastic in, and I mean, Sweeney Todd, she was very good in as Mrs. Lovett. I think she's a very good actress, very good actress. And you find out that in the retrospective special that they did a couple months ago, that this was like Daniel Radcliffe. You know, this was like he was like over the moon when they cast her.
Oh yeah.
You know, he had such high respect for her. And, you know, like the two of them were very close throughout filming and the rest of the movies.
Yeah. So for me, like Helena Bonham Carter, like I feel like a lot of times she falls into the Tim Burton trope where she fits a very specific type. But then you see her do other things, which is always nice. Like I do enjoy seeing her as quote unquote normal, I guess is the best way.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the time she's playing over the top, bigger than life characters, and she does crazy well. And she does like evil really well. And then you'll see her in like a more softer role, and you'll be like, man, she does have some chops. I'll give it to her. But
you didn't watch The Crown, did you? Have you watched The Crown?
I have not watched The Crown.
She's in season 3 and 4. She plays Princess Margaret, the sister of the Queen, and she's excellent in that. So
I'm trying to think of like another recent. I think didn't she do that Enola Holmes?
Oh yeah, that's right. She's the mother.
Yeah. She's got she's been around for. I think the first thing I ever saw her though was Fight Club.
Yeah, she was in the Kenneth Branagh, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, and that's apparently where she had an affair with him, and that's led to him and Emma Thompson divorcing. Oh. But yes, I don't know if Emma Thompson and her are the greatest of friends, because I think Emma Thompson is in this one for like a hot minute.
Yeah. Oh my God, I forgot she was in. Oh, I just saw it. Where was it? Terminator Salvation.
Still to this day, I've never seen that movie.
Really? It's the problem with Terminator Salvation was, and this is a tangent, but this is a movie podcast, and here we are. The problem with Terminator Salvation is that they gave away the big twist in the trailer. Like it was like we watched the trailer, and the trailer's awesome. That like the 9 Inch Nails was playing. Tell me it's early 2000s without telling me it's early 2000s. But 9 Inch Nails playing, and like it's John Connor and it's Christian Bale like right after Batman, and like the trailer swells, and then suddenly it's like, oh, he's a robot. Well, damn it, ruined. And then the movie just wasn't that good. It has some redeeming qualities, and it's probably the better of their more recent attempts. But anywho. All right, and now who is the other? Again, big villains in this one.
Oh, absolutely. The other big villain in this one is Imelda Staunton as Dolores Umbridge, the new Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher and a plant from the corrupt Ministry of Magic.
If ever
this is the actress who she's so good in this role that I just don't like her.
Yo, she really sells just being not nice.
No, absolutely.
If ever there was a casting that like took that character and put them on screen, it is definitely this one. Like I can't even describe how great the casting of this actress as Dolores Umbridge is. What are your thoughts on Dolores?
Just an absolute character you love to hate. I mean, she is just the definition of evil without being crazy. I guess she's not Bellatrix or Strange evil, but she's just one of those. I can't even explain it. She is so by the book and stern and just malicious, and it's all about her. And she thinks everything she's doing is correct. It's just, it's like the teacher from hell, like that type of teacher. I'm sure everybody's had a teacher like that in their life.
Oh, just like the worst kind of person ever.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's nothing worse than like a bad teacher, because that's like not even like a bad teacher, like just I'm not talking like a knowledge base, just a teacher that's just mean for the sake of being mean. Like, and it's not even that she's a mean teacher, she's just a terrible person.
Yeah,
like a stooge. And one of the best payoffs in this entire series is in Deathly Hallows Part 1 when they infiltrate the Ministry, and Harry's polyjuice potion's wearing off, and he says, "Sorry, Dolores, one mustn't tell lies." And then he just rocks her. I was like, oh, yes. What a payoff.
Great.
What a great
so
payoff.
Good.
And then, of course, we do have one other new cast member in this, and that is the Queen of Weird, one of the strangest characters that you will ever meet, and again, another perfect casting, Ivana Lynch as Luna Lovegood.
Oh. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, this is the first movie with her.
That is true. She is so good, and she's not that far off, like in real life. Like
She's
I've heard her talk.
she's very much like the character.
Yeah.
But she was perfect. Another great, perfect casting, and that's another thing. Like some of these characters, when they get cast, these actors and actresses have to commit to big contracts, and then what if it didn't work out?
You're right. I mean, I think with the veteran actors, I would assume they're pretty confident in the fact that these actors are going to work, but it's obviously the kids are tough.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think any kid has ever been replaced. I really don't. Yeah, I really don't. Again, but you're right. Like, what if the casting of Harry Potter was wrong? Could they have, recasted the character after one movie or two? I mean, I doubt it. It would have been a really big egg on their face, but I mean, it's not impossible, but I mean, they really lucked out with just everybody.
Yeah, and the fact that this was her first film, like ever. She did some.
I think
she
most
did,
of the kids.
Yeah, a lot of them. This was first films. She did also the voice of Luna in all the video games too. That's actually really entertaining. But yeah, this was like her big debut, and she killed it. I wish the best for her too. Like all these actors, like these younger ones, a lot of them you see what they do, but the problem is they're all London based or British based. So some of these actors and actresses do other work, but we'll never see it because we don't follow the BBC type
Well,
stuff.
that's the thing. I mean, we do have BBC Network over here, but it doesn't show exactly everything that is aired over there.
And then two other actors and actresses that we have for the first time. We have George Harris playing Kingsley Shacklebolt, and Natalia Tena as Nymphadora Tonks. Two characters that, and we'll talk about this more in Deathly Hallows, that kind of like they're so much bigger in the books.
The characters definitely got shafted in the movies. There wasn't enough space to really give them their due in the movie versions than the books.
It is a shame, and like because they're great characters, and obviously Shacklebolt becomes Minister of Magic. Tonks and Lupin have their whole story that we don't even get that story in the films. The two of them getting together,
right?
Just suddenly they're just together, and it's like, oh, cool, no doubt. But
good for them.
Good for them indeed. Now, with the end of the brand new cast members, or at least the ones of note, we are going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about some of our favorite scenes, some of our gripes, and give our rating of Order of the Phoenix. But for a quick break. Hey guys, it's Paul, and the Misfit Faction is looking for your help. We are trying to grow not only our network, but also grow our brands, and the best way to do that is if you guys are looking to start your very own podcast. Maybe you guys have been listening to us for a while, maybe it's something you guys have always wanted to do, but you're not sure how to get started. If you go to podbean.com/misfitfaction, you guys will get a month of free podcasting set as a gift from us. So make sure if you guys are looking to start your own show, you reach out to us and go to podbean.com/misfitfaction. Also, maybe you guys have your own online business or service that you're always looking to grow, and advertising is a very big part of that. If you guys go to sponsorship.podbean.com/misfitfaction, you guys can get $100 worth of free advertising, again, as a thank you from us to you guys. That's sponsorship.podbean.com/misfitfaction. All right, we are back, and of course, we're going to start off with some of our favorite scenes and then some gripes. I'm going to be honest, I don't have nearly as many gripes as I do for some of the other ones. Mm-hmm. I feel like they did a really good job adapting this, and they had to make some changes like that. We've talked about it, especially after the second book. Like the third book, they just get bigger and bigger, and they need to change more and change more. So we get it. We understand. But let's start off with some positives. Sean, do you have a favorite, like, top scene in this film for you?
I love when Dumbledore escapes from the Ministry.
Damn it!
Fawkes.
You took mine.
Sorry.
That was going to be my first one.
And I love the line where it's like, I know you don't like him, Minister, but you got to admit it. Dumbledore has style.
Oh, yeah. It was such a great scene. And I like how Shacklebolt's, he's like a little kid. He's like, wow.
Yeah. He's there to, like, detain him, but he just can't get over, like, his awe of the man. He's just like, I don't want to do this. Like, so it's really, it was a great scene.
But what's even funnier was he was on their side the whole time. Like, we knew that this was a thing. We knew that he was going to be, like, helping them out. But, so unfortunately, you took mine, but
Sorry.
I will
Sorry.
allow it, and I will mention the scene where Neville and Harry are in the room of requirement, and Neville tells him about his parents.
Ooh, that's a solid.
As much as I like the action set pieces and all the montages and stuff like that, there is just something about those quiet moments where these now adults, they're a little bit older than their actual projected age in the books.
They're supposed to be like 15 or 16 in this book.
Yeah,
like,
and obviously they were more like 18, 19, so they were much older, and like they brought their gravitas, and it was really good. And that was a scene that it had so much more significance in the books, because then obviously when they go to visit Ron's dad at St. Mungo's, they see Neville there with his parents, and Harry knew, but Ron and Hermione didn't, and they find out there, and it's a really powerful scene, and I really do enjoy. And I think, like I said, all these kid actors are suddenly like adults and real actors, and I think that just it speaks volumes for the casting and for the skill that these people had.
Yeah, I think this movie really opened up the door for a lot of the young actors. I mean, this is now their fifth time. There's now that their fifth time playing these characters. I think they really hit, the crescendo of, okay, we are these characters now. Like, there's no stopping that we're going to finish this series. Like, we really understand these characters. We have become these characters. And, we're just going to give probably some of our better performances in this movie. And they do. They are very good.
Oh, yeah.
Because like you said, it really, we're into the, there's no turning back, at this time. I mean, they are up against it. So you really get to see what they're fighting for and all that.
All right. What's another favorite scene that pops out for you?
I like the introduction to Grimmauld Place. I thought that was a cool scene.
It didn't match what I saw in my head. I don't know why.
Fair.
But like it's still good, and just the interior of the house matched my mind. But like I don't know, maybe I just didn't read it properly, or I didn't comprehend it properly, which is fair. I read it at 4th grade level probably, and like I just, in my mind, I saw like just a house, and then it just kind of appeared. But it makes more sense the way that they did it. Good thing I'm pretty, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, absolutely. Scene for me, a favorite scene that I thoroughly enjoy is I do enjoy the montage of them in the room requirement and training, and you see Filch trying to catch them, and all the like Malfoy and his goons trying to catch them. It's a fun scene. I think some of Harry's dialogue is a little cringy, but otherwise it's weird. I never noticed, and we didn't point this out in our first episode in the series, was that Harry doesn't cast a single spell in the first movie. Yeah. Didn't even notice.
No, you're right.
Not a single spell.
Leviosa. He doesn't even say Leviosa.
He doesn't cast a single spell, which is hilarious. But now we're seeing him teach people, and like it's weird because even though Harry becomes an Auror at the end of the book series, and he magical law enforcement, all that, which is cool, and that's what he wanted to do, I found it really interesting. I could see Harry Potter as a professor at Hogwarts.
Yeah, no, I definitely could see that. Be like a defense against the dark arts teacher in honor of Lupin and all that. I think that would definitely be a possibility.
Yeah. Any other favorite scenes that jump out at?
That one was my major one. I do love the Dumbledore Voldemort fight at the end. I like that a lot. I think we could have seen a little more, but it worked. It worked.
The books made it sound so much more impressive.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
There's a scene in the book, and we'll talk about differences in a minute, but there's a scene in the book. Voldemort goes to Avada Kedavra him, and he has like a statue come to life and jump in the way and take the blast, explode. I'm like, man, I could see why. Like, it's weird because Harry's not the most powerful wizard. Like when they talk top 10 wizards, Harry's like good, but he's not that good. But he fights on par with Voldemort in the film version, at least, of Deathly Hallows. So it's weird seeing it's like the same fight almost, like Harry and Voldemort in the end of the series, and then this, and I just wanted a more impressive battle. And the fact that like they never did like nonverbal spells are harder to do but more powerful and all that stuff, like they never established that. It's really just them kind of like the wands just became guns. Yeah, and that's why I didn't like the fight in the Department of Mysteries with like Sirius and Harry versus Malfoy and unnamed henchman number 4, where basically they're just whipping their wands at each other, and they do some swirls and stuff like that, but it's like there's always something. I have the same issue with Doctor Strange, where it's just him hitting his hands together a lot of times, and then just magic circles. But any other favorite scene? Oh, I didn't do one of mine. I'm sorry. Did you?
No.
The Dementor.
No, I did the. Go ahead.
The Dementor scene in the opening.
Ooh, yeah, with Dudley.
And not only did they do some really visually interesting shots, like all the grass behind Harry while he's sitting on the swings is dead, like it's all decaying and dying. And apparently it's because there was an actual drought at the time period, because this is like 1996, 95 in the books. And then I enjoyed how they fixed the Patronus so that it's actually Harry like directing it, and it's like an actual animal hitting the Dementors instead of just a big energy projection that they did in Azkaban. So it was definitely a really cool scene.
Solid.
Sean, you can't just nod in podcasting. It's just sitting there
I
nodding.
said solid.
All right.
I agree.
But
I hear you.
Let's talk some differences and some gripes, all right? So one of the biggest, which I'm going to say, is Cho Chang was originally not the one that gave up the Dumbledore's army stuff. Originally, it was her friend who didn't even really want to go, but like Cho wanted to go because she was all smitten with Harry, and the friend gives them up, and she gets like a curse that like I think like snitch appears all over her face or something like that from Hermione, because Hermione's a savage. But let's see, Firenze took over divination in the books. He actually came and taught classes, and he was an outcast to the Centaurs for it. So after Trelawney gets fired, he comes in and teaches, and we only saw him in the first movie. That was it.
Yeah, that's right.
Let's see. Who finds the Room of Requirement? Originally, it was Dobby. He was the one, but Neville's the one that finds it in this one, which, again, they just keep giving Neville all of Dobby's things to do, like the gillyweed from the previous movie.
No, they also trimmed down the memory of seeing James humiliate Snape in the old school days.
Yeah.
It was much bigger.
Like all those scenes were much bigger in the book. They were well done though in this movie, with Snape kind of going into his mind and stuff like that. No Quidditch in this film. That was a big thing at the time. Yeah. People were a little annoyed about that. We had the character of Mundungus Fletcher played a much bigger role in the original book, but now they wait till Deathly Hallows Part 1 to introduce him. Creature gets a smaller role because that's what they did to all of the magical creatures, I guess. What do you think about Creature? We didn't even talk about Creature.
J.K. Rowling wanted him in the movie, but they kept it just to that one scene.
Of him just walking around.
It's just one of those, like, interesting little characters, and just, I don't even know who voiced him. I didn't look into that.
Well, we'll get to that in Deathly Hallows.
I would have liked to have seen more.
Especially when we talk about, maybe like at the end of the series, we'll talk about the characters that didn't get their dues. And I would even say Creature's one of them, because in the books, like, he becomes like a loyal servant of Harry's in the book. Yeah. Did you actually read the books?
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
It's been a long time.
It's been a minute. We mentioned the St. Mungo's scenes with Neville's parents. I don't even think they show St. Mungo's in this.
No, they don't.
In the book, they mentioned Madame Maxine helping out Hagrid. We don't get to see her again. They took
Rita Skeeter is in the book, which doesn't even become the actor in the movie.
Well, again, we never even saw the ending stuff with Rita Skeeter about her being an animagus and all that stuff. Like, they dropped the ball with stuff like that.
Yeah.
Let's see. They took out a bunch of rooms for the Department of Mysteries, and I mentioned that I didn't really like the ending fight scenes. Like, the chase through the Department of Mysteries was fun. Like, that was a cool thing. But yeah, like, it's cool when the auras drop in, and I like Mad-Eye Moody. His cane is his wand, so he just like drops it and like it hits somebody. I was like, oh, that's cool. All right, I'll give you that one.
What did you think of the Sirius's death scene? I feel like it was different in the book than it was in the movie.
Yeah, I think in the book he didn't act like, they don't actually say Avada Kedavra and all that, and then he dies, and then like he just kind of floats through that veil. Very similar, but like it's all right.
Yeah.
And then I do love Bellatrix at the end. She's like singing, I killed Sirius Black, and he hits her with the Crucio, and that's a great scene. Like,
that is, because then Voldemort's just like, finish her off.
You have to mean it, yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's a payoff to that line in Deathly Hallows. In the book, I know it's definitely there, but I'm not sure if it's in the second one. But one of the Carrows spits in McGonagall's face, and Harry drops his invisibility cloak and hits him with Crucio, and like hits him with it, and he goes, "Now I get when they said you had to mean it." And it's like, And McGonagall goes, "What are you doing?" And he's like, he spat in your face. And it's a great moment. Let's see. And then those are the biggest changes. Mostly other things are like aesthetic changes or are very minor, not enough, but those are like the big ones.
Yeah. We didn't mention, though, that one other addition to the franchise is the director, David Yates. This movie, he has directed every single Harry Potter project since this movie. He did the remaining Harry Potter films, and he's done all 3 Fantastic Beasts films.
Oh, God.
And he was pretty much a TV director before this. Like, this was his first real big break in terms of major motion pictures. So, he wasn't a named director like Columbus, like Mike Newell, or even like Alfonso Cuarón when they were hired. So it was a gamble for the producers, and I guess you could say that it paid off. I mean, he did all 4 of the next films. So, and I think it got better and better as the next few films progressed.
Yeah,
because I love Half-Blood Prince.
It's very good. I just rewatched it, and I do definitely enjoy it. But this film had a budget of $150 million to about $200 million. You count in the promotions and all that stuff, and it made $942.2 million. And this is 2007. Like,
yeah,
that's huge.
This is pre-Dark Knight.
Yeah, and then we forgot to mention
Marvel.
We forgot to mention Hagrid's giant half brother Grop, who we never see again.
Yes.
But yeah, this movie did exceptionally well. I think it's really, again, it's a big turning point for the film and for the whole series. And yeah, David Yates does really well. And we'll talk about the Fantastic Beasts films at some point. I've only seen the first one though, and the first one was good, but much like The Hobbit, it was not good enough to create a whole universe out of it.
Well, aren't they books, or is Fantastic Beasts the only book?
So Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them was a textbook. It was a textbook in the Harry Potter universe. And as a promotional thing or like a charity thing, they actually wrote it. And it's literally a field guide to magical beasts. I had a copy of it. It's this tiny little book where it's like, here's like this beast. It likes this stuff. Here's this beast. It likes this stuff. Like it was not a story. It's kind of like the zombie survival guide, which created World War Z and all that. Like the actual zombie survival guide is an actual textbook about how to survive a zombie apocalypse. But yeah, so again, we'll talk about it at some point after I've seen the second and third movie, but I saw the first movie and I liked it and I was like, I don't need more. Like, I'd rather just see...
I like you, but not that much.
I would have much rather just seen a young Dumbledore story. Like, and now...
Well, I think that's kind of what it did. It kind of like took over because, I mean, like, Dumbledore became the face of that franchise with Jude Law. Like, Eddie Redmayne kind of got pushed to the side, it looks like. But, we'll see.
So let's do a Star City rating for Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix.
I'll go 3.5.
3.5. I'm going to give it a 4. I don't know why. I'm rereading the book too, so that might have me a little jaded, but it is a solid film, and I do enjoy it. Again, the act. I think it's a 4 for me because all the actors are now bringing a higher level of craft. The stakes are higher, and like just. For me, it's the turning point of the franchise. More so, I think Goblet's where it starts, and then this like just skyrockets it for
crescendo.
me.
It's like a big crescendo, yeah. And I love, and we didn't really talk about the payoff for Dolores with Fred and George. Pretty much with the brooms, and they just destroy
the whole Great Hall. Yeah. And then we never talked about like they're starting their store, but they don't ever mention anything about what's it called? Help me out here. Oh, the Triwizard winnings that Harry gives them. But let's see. I think that pretty much wraps it up. You want some Fan Feedback Friday?
Let's do some Fan Feedback Friday. Yes, sir.
All right. This week, what is the greatest mythological creature in a film or TV series? So we got only a few answers for this one, which is fine. We have Toothless from How to Train Your Dragon. We have Fawkes the Phoenix from Harry Potter. We have Tinkerbell from Peter Pan. And we have Hades from Hercules. Oh, solid choices. Solid choices. But if you guys are looking to participate in Fan Feedback Friday, all you have to do is find us on Facebook. Type in the Cinematic Adventures Podcast. You'll find us right there. You can also find us on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, all sorts of stuff. Type in the Misfit Faction. Odds are you'll find some of our stuff. We do Fan Feedback Friday every Friday. Who knew? Between the hours of 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. But I think that's pretty much it for today. Sean, great job.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Like,
thank you. Always looking for your approval.
It's weird because you always have it, buddy.
Oh, there you go.
But that is gonna, that's all you need. But that is gonna wrap us up for today. We will be back next episode with Half-Blood Prince. But until then, I'm Paul.
I'm Sean.
And we'll see you guys next time.
Adios.